Hey, how's everybody doing today? I'm your host, Rich, and we have Rich to be live with many co-hosts with us today. The Bull and Bear Show, episode number 11. How you guys all doing today?
Pretty good. How
Great.
you doing?
I'm
Doing
doing
good.
fantastic. We got the
Good for
Marky
me.
Maverick here. We got Blaze here. We got King Earl here and Nash Cowboy here. And very excited to have all of you guys back on the show. And last week was great to have you guys all there. And the first topic this week is the deficit. The U.S. deficit hits 1.3 trillion, and Fitch strips the U.S. of a AAA rating, angering the White House. Puzzling the White House. Everybody in the White House does not understand why the United States now has only a AA plus rating instead of a AAA rating. And we're going to start with you, Mark and Maverick. What do you think about this? Do you think this is deserving? Do you think this is undeserving? Why is this happening in America?
Oh man, they have a system of 4 years presidential reign and then re-elections, another 4 years. If Biden gets re-elected, personally, I'm gonna be blaming the Biden administration. I have nothing else to do but that because I'm on the sidelines here in Canada, watching the media, and I'm just picking and choosing between what's going on with Trump, what's going on with Biden, or what's going on with my favorite candidate, Robert Kennedy, who's related to JFK, and he talks about some things that just blow my mind away. So I don't know what's going on in the United States as much as our fellow hosts here who are living in the United States. So I want to hear what they got to say about this.
Okay, perfect. Let's hear what you got to say. King Earl, what's your opinion on this? Does America
Uh,
deserve a AA plus rating right now?
oh yeah, I think that we might even just deserve an A plus rating right now due to the amount of economy that they've allowed to go on for so long, trying to softball us, delayed payments on debt, them asking for $1.3 trillion loans. Now they just rose the number up to $1.3 trillion for a loan for the third quarter. For the deficit rather than the $776 billion that they had due to only bringing in like $3.4 trillion in assets and tax collections. So, I mean, we're definitely due for a credit rating decrease. I mean, the buying power in the U.S. is going down. As long as the dollar doesn't go down right now, we have a chance to fix it. But, the future is coming and it's starting to show its beautiful little eye, and they better get on with a program of digital currencies or something changing rather than just Fed now, where they're trying to stick all their money at instead of our tax deficit. Um, so yeah, I think we're very becoming of a AA plus at this
Okay.
moment due to Biden's administration.
Okay. What do you think, Cowboy? Does America deserve a AA plus rating right now, or is that too harsh?
I don't think it's harsh enough myself.
Okay.
Um, so there has to be a long-term solution given, right? One, our entitlement program. We need some kind of solution for it. The spending problem that we have in this country is insane. They're looking for that. They're looking for long-term solutions on things like this. All right, to bring down the deficit, at least to bring it to a stable level, right? So that so that they don't look at us like we can't pay back our bills. Because I mean, let's face it. If I took out a loan on a $100,000 Corvette, right?
Yep.
I can't get out of that loan by taking out another loan. It's common sense.
Just buys you more time.
Yeah, I mean, number
Before
one, we need to become energy independent. That's the number one.
before long, they're going to take back the Corvette.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless you get another loan to pay it off and then start fresh.
Yeah, but you can
That's
only do
basically
that.
what we
But
do.
you can only do that so many times, and our government's just doing it over and over and over.
So here's my theory on a AAA, a AA plus. It's not harsh enough. We got to stop
Wow.
borrowing the money before we can even pay it back. I get what they're doing; they're just buying more time. But it's just enabling us to keep on failing. So I agree with the rating. I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone's opinion. Now, one of the things that I always look at is the debt level. And it's just crazy that the stock market is doing really, really well, and the crypto market's been doing really well. Housing's doing very well in both Canada and the United States, despite the fact that interest rates keep going up, despite the fact that food prices keep going up, despite the fact that real estate keeps going up, despite the fact that taxes keep going up, despite the fact that gas prices keep going up. Something has to give. So when you have this much debt, I think it makes sense that they bring the rating down a little bit to kind of say, hey, listen, you can't just print money forever and think that that's going to solve everything. So I agree
Now,
with a lot of your guys' opinions there.
Well, let's not forget that our currency isn't our currency; it's a foreign bank.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're printing money, it's a foreign bank printing. It's a corporation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Iran's poking its pretty little head right now, seizing oil tankers, driving oil prices up from the OPEC trade. So, I mean, there's only so much we can do without going to war with them. But, you know,
guys,
Biden's not going to be as aggressive yet.
I tried to hold this back earlier. I didn't want to say it, but I got to say it. I think the United States is trying to keep up with China, but China honestly just overtook the United States in 2020 for the leading investments coming into China from the world. So I see a lot of things coming in the near future. Honestly, I was watching a video about a Cold War that might happen between China and the US because China's investments in Africa and Europe and Brazil and all of these different continents is a direct threat to the financial stability of the US. And now they're in a debt with the deficit, barely got through the debt ceiling. It's crazy what's going on, honestly. But it seems
I
like
mean, it's super complex, that's for sure.
I always like to say the world's a stage. It's just a show.
Now,
Absolutely.
this chart that I have up right now, this is actually a chart that was given to me by Earl, and it makes reference to the jobs. And in some situations, lack thereof, or in some situations, there's many jobs. So I just want to get your guys' opinion on this. And so if you look at this chart, what it shows is that there's actually 9.8 million open jobs in the United States and only 5.9 million unemployed workers. So there's more jobs than there is workers. But what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Do you think there's lots of jobs right now? Do you think the job situation is good? Do you think the job situation is bad? Clearly, the numbers are starting to get a little bit dicey, and it's one of the reasons why the market had a tough week. We'll start with you, Market Maverick. What do you think about this?
You know, it's hard to say. How are they going to introduce new jobs through the electric vehicle company? What are they going to do? The energy grid, solar? The only way I see to introduce more jobs and to not have a high unemployment rate would be, I mean, is that a high unemployment rate based on 350 million citizens living in the United States compared to Canada's less than 50 million? Canada's having a fair growth rate right now in unemployment. It's only 5.4%, and we're seeing increase in jobs, and jobs are increasing. As much as I hate to say it, part of the Trudeau administration did something right, but everything else wrong. And now we're going to have some sort of coalition. Who knows what's going to happen? But the unemployment rate in the United States is hard to really track the source because of the population size is just tremendous. And I've never personally even seen populations in cities that big, like California, for example. That's the size of my country. So it's hard to see what's going to happen in the future. Hopefully Trump can get in there and introduce new jobs in this economy, because I think he does have a plan. He did make the stock market explode and make me a lot of money, so I like what he did, and he's a businessman, so that's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully that will change things.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it shows a clear representation that there's more jobs out there than there are unemployed people, or at least people filing for unemployment. And a lot of the people that are currently on unemployment aren't wanting to go to work. You know, they might be millennials living in their mama's basement, not wanting to work a 9 to 5 or whatever's out there for minimum wage or whatnot. But it kind of does help with them sitting on their couch, you know, not working. and taking these potential jobs, it actually drives the wages up of the jobs that are out there because it causes, capitalism at its finest, where we can actually have competitive wages across the platform. Because even those available jobs are going to have to go up and offer incentives and different things to actually get the people to come, or change their hiring program if the problem is them not being out there actually doing the hiring process. So, I mean, it shows clear representation of what's currently going on and how many people are just sitting there. But, I mean, it also goes to show that many people aren't working two jobs like they used to. The grind isn't there, and a lot of them aren't wanting to do the hardworking jobs that are there. So, I mean, I'd like a better breakdown of what exactly those potential industries those jobs are in, and that's going to be my next step that I'm looking at.
Okay. How about you, Cowboy? What do you think about this?
One thing I like to touch on is something Maverick said there, is that it is hard to track unemployment rate in America, and not just because of the amount of people, is because we don't know how many people have run out of unemployment and are just sitting there. So I think our unemployment rate is a whole lot higher than what is on record, because you can only collect unemployment for so long.
Are you
All
saying that the homeless people are not filling in the paperwork, so they don't know how much there is?
Yeah, like if I draw unemployment, if I lose my job, I draw unemployment. I can only get it for so long, and then they cut it off.
6 months usually.
Then I'm not on the unemployment number that they're counting.
So basically, in Canada, we have CSIS, where they can count how many people are in the city. For you guys, I'm not sure who it is, probably the Fed, but so they can't count how many homeless people because they can't find them. They could be in an abandoned home somewhere in Detroit, or, for example.
Yeah, there's
that's
all
crazy.
kinds of
That's what I was
factors there.
thinking.
So like, you got to look more closely at how many people are in the work market, right, or in the workforce. All right, that's a more accurate number rather than an unemployment number, because unemployment numbers are very skewed. Even the workforce, I mean, we've got a lot of under the table jobs, but I think there's to answer your question a little bit better, Rich, there are tons of places hiring right now. In my field in construction, it's hard to find good workers. Like, it just is. Either the drug addicts, or they just don't want to work.
I have the same problem here in Canada. I have a lot of friends that have their own businesses, and
they demand more money, but they're not worth it.
That's right. I hear that all the time. You can't find good workers. People, they make a little bit of money, then they go on a bender. Like, nobody's committed to actually working, 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like, it's hard to find workers to put in 40 hours a week nowadays, which is mind-boggling, because I grew up that was normal, and I see it even in my kids. Like, the idea of working an 8-hour day blows their mind. They're like, I don't have time to work 8 hours a day. How am I supposed to do that? I'm like, well, how does everyone else do it? You know what I mean? Everyone else has to do it.
We couldn't wait to grow up.
Growing up these days, the idea of working 8 hours a day is like impossible to them.
Well, you guys, you don't realize, social media don't report how many people are working and making millions of dollars or tens of thousands monthly. So a lot of people are shifting off to physical work into using their mouth like we're doing right now. Those numbers can't be calculated properly because they're not all reported. And then there's people that don't even qualify for half those jobs out there. So both numbers are inaccurate. I never listen to those numbers. But like Nash said, if I walk out my door here in Florida, there's job offers everywhere. Everywhere. The whole strip down here says now hiring all over the place. Nobody wants to work because when you get a handout, you invest it, you score, you work on social media, boom, it's over. They're not going to get those numbers right until they figure out how many people are actually working on social media.
That's like when the virus came in Canada and the government gave everybody $2,000 a month. I swear to you, I did the research. About 80% of the people that received funds, which was all of Canada, invested that money in the stock market, which explains that boom we had during that time.
This leads me to my next question. So we'll start with you, Mark and Maverick. Canada unexpectedly sheds jobs in July. So we actually lost jobs in July here in Canada, and the Canadian bank is actually looking to pause rates. Do you think we're going to pause rates in Canada? And does that mean that we're going to pause rates in America? We'll start with you, Mark and Maverick. What do you think?
Personally, if they're gonna pause rates in Canada, it would just hurt us in the long run and the near term. But if the United States, which I think would pause rates before Canada even decided to do anything, because the central banks are connected, the rate hikes in 2023 were 5% and 7.2%, not including variable rate discounts, and the lenders, they don't even basically have the money because of all the debt. So the central banks are receiving it from who? The Fed. The Fed's receiving the money from, or sorry, the central banks are giving the money to commercial banks, and the money is holding its ground, which seems to be really weird with everything that is happening with China leaving trade deals with the US for Saudi Arabia, or sorry, Saudi Arabia leaving the US trade deals with China. I don't know how long they're going to hold this ground for. Personally, the Fed raising hikes and Bitcoin holding its ground is a sign in itself showing that Bitcoin is even more dominant, because the valuation of Bitcoin is relied on what's happening with the currency of the world reserve currency. So I'm looking at every aspect and every angle here, and it's like 2008 market with the housing market, where they just couldn't understand what's going to happen. This is very similar with currency. Trying to understand it every day.
King Earl, what do you think about this? Do you think there's going to be more rate hikes in America, or have we seen enough rate hikes? Do we stop here?
I froze.
No, I think he lost signal.
Oh, we may have. He may have froze, but I'm sure he'll come back.
I heard him.
We'll go to you, Nash, until he comes back. What do you think, Nash? Do you think that we're going to have more rate hikes in America, or have we seen enough rate hikes?
I think we'll probably have. I personally think I'll have more.
Yeah,
that's just me. I think we're not headed to a good place.
Hyperinflation.
Yeah, we are in hyperinflation state right now. I mean, it costs. Gasoline here just went up to $3.50 a gallon. All right, well, $3.40. All right, that's a lot for this area.
More over here.
Everything is. It's
Sorry, King Earl was back, but I think he froze again. Earl, are you back?
Sorry about that.
He still froze. So, I mean, everything's going up, and even in the construction world, we got to raise our rates constantly. I mean, to make up for things. The cost of doing business is more. It's not really, in my opinion, solving anything. If somebody gets paid $30 an hour in construction right now, and they're paying $3.50 for a gallon of gas, or if they're making $50 an hour next year, but they're paying $20 a gallon for gas, it's not solving anything. So I don't know. It's a mess. The country is being hyperinflated really fast, and it's not good. Inflation is okay, all right, but at a slower rate. We're being hyperinflated.
What do you think, Blaze?
I think we're going to have a few more. We got ourselves in a muck, with that AA plus and, printing the money and just things are going back. Ever since Trump left office, we've been going downhill. So, yeah, expect to see more until 2024 when we can tell you who's going to be running the office. And hopefully that corrects everything. But every time in the United States, when we have a big election like this, we always have something go on. This is the worst I've ever seen in my whole life.
Earl,
So,
are you back?
we're gonna have more
Earl,
hikes.
can you hear us? Hey, Earl, can you hear us?
Earl.
Hey, Earl,
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
He's frozen again.
No,
I'd love to
He's
get
probably
his
trying to
opinion
fix
on
it.
this.
that's a no.
So I know that Earl's driving. So he's probably
I'll give you the answer for King Earl. He's probably going to say the same thing. Yes, they're going to do it.
They're gonna do what?
They're going
increase
to
increase the rates again.
They're going to increase the rates. Absolutely.
Sorry, I was reading something about Trump. I thought you were talking about him.
No.
Okay, so we're just
And
gonna
let's face it. The more they increase rates, the more, the less the people are going to get loans. Period.
So this week in the stock market fell, and one of the major reasons was because they did lower the U.S. rating, and the stock market's been on fire. But one of the other reasons why the stock market fell is that there is a strong but slowing U.S. labor market. So the strong U.S. labor market is starting to slow. We're starting to see the same thing in Canada. You guys just mentioned that there's lots of jobs, but it's starting to slow. Do you think that we are going into recession? I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think we're going into recession? What do you guys think? We'll start with you, Mark and Maverick. Earl, are you there? Can you hear us? Can you talk? Oh, there you are. Maybe I'll let you finish.
Let's get Earl's
I don't
input
know
on
when you
this
answer
first.
the last question, Earl. Did you hear the last question?
Yeah, I can hear you, Earl.
Okay, you can hear me now. Awesome. As far as the rate hikes, I do think that the U.S. will continue to have some, but I don't think we'll have but one more this year, especially with the $1.3 trillion loan going out, our request going out is going to overstimulate, or not overstimulate, but overinflate the market again, even though we're trying to go below it. So it's going to rise the numbers a little bit, but it's going to help continue to drive us into recession a little bit. But you know, just as they said, it's going to be a fully employed recession this time, rather than all the job losses as of right now. As far as Canada losing its jobs, you're looking at the fact that there's huge forest fires that were going on, so a lot of businesses might have closed their doors, you know, due to that, and potentially, you know, where their homes being lost or mobile transport, they had to shut down and take their money from what they had, you know, so it's kind of hard to judge a market and how it's doing when there's natural devastations going on.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to start with you, Mark and Maverick. Will there be a recession? Are we going to see a recession? Everybody expected a recession in 2023. That hasn't happened. Will we see a recession in the second half of 2023, or will we see a recession in 2024 or 2025? I know that people are getting tightened, but we haven't seen a recession. The stock market hasn't crashed. Crypto hasn't crashed. Housing market hasn't crashed. So that's not a recession. Typically in a recession, you're going to see the housing market crash or the stock market crash, cryptos crash, but they've all done well. So are we going to see a recession here in the second half of 2023? Are we going to see a recession in 2024, 2025? Are people finally going to start really not being able to pay their bills? Are people running out of savings? What do you think, Mark and Maverick?
You know what, Rich? It's unbelievable to see that 60% of probability for a recession in this year. Yes, I believe that it's going to happen. I believe we're already almost there. And that's probably why Trudeau's wife left him, unfortunately. I hate to be so crude and rude and heartless.
She's hanging around with Tom Brady's wife right now.
Is she? Wow. He also got screwed over in FTX. Those guys got destroyed by COVID in the last year. FTX got destroyed. It destroyed Tom Brady's investment in FTX and Trudeau's divorce. Now they're hanging out together, which is really funny. But yeah, I think a recession is basically here. But I also believe strongly that they also planned for this. And that's why if you go to cbdctracker.org, you will see every single central bank digital currency on this planet. And what is that? Well, if you go on Google, you type in US CBDC or Canadian CBDC, it specifically says US digital dollar or Canadian digital dollar. So why do they need these new technologies if they don't already know there's a possibility of a recession and a possible decline in the value of the world reserve currency or the Canadian currency for that matter? Because once they start climbing like this when they have no reason to, I get worried.
King Earl, are we gonna have a recession? Is it
I
coming?
believe we might. I believe we might have a slight recession. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of people employed, but I mean those numbers will drop. But there's more jobs out there than there are unemployed at this point, so some of those people might slide it into those jobs. But with fuel prices continuing to go up, I view it's going to be harder for people to actually, afford the products that they want. That our economy is currently swapping from goods to services. But it's going to have to swap back over to goods. So, I mean, I think they might be switching a little bit too early, and getting more relaxed with the economy and comfortable with what they have. But, the stimulus money's already run out a long time ago. We can't afford any more. And we'll see. I have to see where things go from here. I mean, we might definitely feel it more during the winter when there's not as much food being produced. And trucking is already down due to rates. I mean, 501,000 truck drivers have quit trucking in the past 14 months. 50,000 trucking companies have closed their doors here in the U.S. Meanwhile, fuel rates have continued to skyrocket, and the rates that truck drivers are paid have continued to go down. I mean, we're down 75% of what we were making just last year. So, I mean, we're already feeling it on our end. And meanwhile, prices of goods just continue to gradually and slowly go up along with the commodities. And we'll have to see when the rest of the U.S. economy continues to feel it, besides the Fed only worrying about how the banks feel about the rate hikes and how the banks are going to fare. So we'll see.
Okay, Nash Cowboy, what do you think? We're going to have a recession?
I believe there was 2 consecutive quarters where the GDP fell, right? And the White House was asked, why aren't you telling everybody we're in a recession? Not right now, but their answer was we're not. And somebody brought that up, and then they're like, that's not the definition of a recession, but that's obviously the definition of a recession. So I think we've already had one. Do I think we're going to fall more into one? Absolutely, I do. I think we're going to be touching some whole new levels of things because we've never been in the position we're in right now, except for, the Great Depression.
Yeah, maybe the last time was maybe around 2007, 2008 during the housing crisis.
Yeah.
That was the last time that we really felt squeezed like this. But I know people are getting squeezed, right? People, like, everything is costing more here in Canada. Like, the gas prices are the all-time high here in Vancouver. Food prices all-time highs. And people don't really understand. Like, I know Trudeau definitely doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that when gas prices are higher and the cost of fuel is higher, that means those truckers are paying more to transport food. That's why the prices of food is going up. He doesn't get it. He's a drama teacher. What do you think, Blaze? We're going to have a recession?
According to the definition of recession, especially when you just repeated it a little while ago, business ain't going bad. The stock looked great, 13, 14 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
We're more than midway through the year. If it was going to happen, it would have happened maybe in March. Absolutely not, because there's going to be a new president in the United States soon. The end of the year is rolling in big. Bitcoin's going to have in the head of the year. People are shifting their interest, right, and their profits into investing. This is the new thing coming, guys. So get used to it. People that used to work with their hands every day are going to be using their hands a little different.
Okay, so we're going to change topics now. We're going to talk about Trump, and this is all over the news. This is the most polarizing ex-president ever. And honestly, America's never been the same since he lost to Biden. So there's a new indictment. There's new charges on Trump. It feels like every day there's charges coming at this man. Trump supporters view the latest indictment as evidence of a crime. Do you think there's a crime against Trump? That's my next question. Do you think this is actually a crime against Trump? Not a crime that Trump has had, but actually a crime that is now, like, they're going after Trump so much that is it a crime what they're doing to Trump? We'll start with you, Mark and Maverick.
You know, excuse me if I sneeze here. Trump yesterday pleaded not guilty to charges of over plotting the 2020 elections, which I personally don't agree with any of these charges, because I remember in 2020 they were saying Russia might have interfered in elections, and now they're saying Trump this and that. I find it like that they're just trying to point some fingers here in order to ruin his whole 2024 election campaign and give him some bad news and bad sight in the eyes of the public. That's what I think this is, a propaganda machine doing its best work here through all the major headlines. And as Trump is even running for president last year, or even now in his campaign, he talks about how fake the mainstream news is. And that's why the people watching at home, you guys got to support these channels, these type of things that we're doing for you guys here. We really go out of our way to do the research and give you guys the best opinions possible. Look at us, 5 of us guys here trying to give you guys the best information on the whole ClearNet. So
and hopefully we get your support, guys. We got guys here all over North America.
I don't agree with anything that they're doing to Trump.
Myself and Mark and Maverick are in Canada. Earl, Nash Cowboy, and Blaze are all in America. We're in Canada, so we got all of North America covered here. It's pretty cool. I really like doing these shows, and I really enjoy it. Now, King Earl, I know you're driving. Did you freeze again? You might have froze.
I think he did.
He needs
there you are,
Earl, you need to get the Starlink satellite connection.
Just drive safe. The most important
$99 a month.
The most important thing is that you get to your destination safe. We'll get to your questioning when you're
the thing about King Earl is he's living proof what truck drivers go through, and he's on this show.
Yeah, he's always on the road.
So we're getting the right information.
When he tells me how much he pays for fuel, it blows my mind.
Exactly. So those numbers,
I never heard the numbers.
Figure out
over $1,000 to fill up his tank.
Just once? And how far does he go?
Well, he has a huge truck, but it costs him $1,000 to fill up his tank.
He probably gets like 7 miles to the gallon. All right, which there's 2.3 liters in a gallon, I think, something like that. Wow. So it's not much. So he's got to fill up
like Vin Diesel's car.
We're just gonna skip Earl. We'll go to you, Cowboy. What do you think? Do you think there's a crime against Trump?
Yes, but with that being said, this last one, the conspiracy on election, that may actually be in Trump's favor. Now, hear me out. Okay. Trump has been trying to get the whole thing to court to begin with. All right. Now that he has to go to court for it, he has the right to call subpoenas in. All right, which means he has the right to subpoena every single ballot person there is if he wants to, and prove that they will have to prove that there was no election fraud. They'll have to prove why there was 1 million votes at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, they'll have to prove all kinds of things. So that circumstance may actually be a good thing. All right. But there's all kinds of other things. All right. The FBI releases that Hunter's laptop is not a conspiracy and that it's there. Trump gets indicted. All right. Joe Biden starts getting investigated. Another indictment. Hunter has to go to court over some pretty serious stuff. Hunter gets a slap on the hand, but Trump gets indicted. Archer sheds light on the $5.2 million that Biden received. Another indictment. To me, it's all smoke and mirrors to shed light away from the crime that's really going on.
With the Bidens.
Yes.
They don't
Absolutely.
want to take any accountability, but they want to continue to throw Trump under the bus.
And let's not forget that they've tried to shut Trump down from the day he stepped in office. All right. Why? Because he has a lot of dirt on him. And so I think it is a crime. And when all this is said and done, and also let's not forget, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. They're already treating him as guilty. All right.
Yeah.
And they've done that since he got in office. Every time they tried to impeach him or anything, they made the public believe that he was guilty before innocent. And that's just not the case. He proved him wrong twice before. I think he'll prove him wrong again. And I think this last one, they messed up by indicting him on the conspiracy on election fraud.
Yeah,
they're only doing, guys, they're only doing this to publicize Trump. Okay, this is going to benefit Trump. All the people out there that are watching all this news about Trump, all his supporters are multiplying. He's smashing DeSantis right now in numbers. So it's only making him stronger. And the key thing is to get in office because he can pardon himself from everything that's going on. So it's a win-win for him. And even if he don't, there's other people that said if they get in office, they are going to pardon him too. So right now it is set up for history to repeat itself. Trump, Biden, back to Trump. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that.
That's what I think too.
Earl.
That's funny you said that.
Earl, can you hear us?
Yes.
But
yes, I can.
But sorry to interrupt you. The Simpsons showing Trump in a coffin. The media hating on Trump throughout his whole 8 years that we've seen this guy on TV in the spotlight. At the same time, is he part of the club? These bankers and the elites, and is he sitting at the table with J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, or is he not?
Nope. He's not.
So that's why they don't like this guy. Eh? I always wondered, is he against
if he was sitting with them, then he
Illuminati?
wouldn't be doing what he's doing, right? He's essentially outing all of them, right? So they're very
Trump is bigger than Mason.
They're very concerned about Trump because
they
Trump
can't control the guy, so they want to destroy his image. It's similar to a narcissistic move from basically a covert narcissist, and that's what the media is doing to Trump. They're just doing everything they can to hurt the guy's image, but he's so popular that even I like the guy, and I live in Canada, so thank God for social media and these new social media platforms policies where we can actually see things on TikTok that we don't get to see on Instagram or YouTube. That's what I've noticed as well.
But that's why they're trying to get rid of TikTok.
King Earl, you there?
That's why they're trying to ban TikTok, because TikTok is showing us all the stuff that they don't want us to see.
Did Earl freeze up again?
Yeah.
All right. You might want to shift the rotation. So if Earl gets back on, let him go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Earl, if you jump back on, we'll let you. I just love to
hear
with
a plan.
If there's been a crime against Trump, jump back on.
Oh, that's all I do all day is run beams.
Run beams. What do you mean exactly?
Crime after crime against him.
On the app I'm on. We sit in you should go on the app with us.
Live me. I made an account. I think I'm your friend on there. But I never open it. I get all these notifications from it. It's like one day sends me a notification. It's like, honey, I'm home. I'm like, who's that?
You'll see Rich, Nash, me, Earl, Chris, a lot of people. You'll love it. But we won't advertise them right now.
I'm sending you a link. I think you got to put this on the screen. I believe you have to. It's something I just stumbled on, but it's amazing.
Those notifications on my get
so I don't know if we're gonna have time today, guys.
All right, no problem.
We got to keep hammering these because I got a whole bunch more here. So we only have 19 minutes left. We're running a little bit out of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump to the next topic because I think we talked about Trump for a while. So let's go to the next topic here. And I know it's a topic you guys all like. So let's just talk about this. Shiba Inu. I know all of you guys on here all believe in Shiba Inu, so I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Shiba Inu is bouncing right now. It's having a really, really good day. Oh, wait, there's Earl. Earl, you're back. Earl, can you hear us?
Earl, can you hear us?
I can see you.
No, he's... Okay. Oh, right.
Earl,
there he is.
Earl, can you speak?
Yes.
Earl, so is there a crime against Trump right now? Love to know your opinion.
I would say no. A crime against Trump,
Against
probably,
Trump.
very massively. Um, as far as spying on a sitting president or a U.S. citizen without the proper, without the proper documentations to do it through the FICA court. I mean, that's already a violation as it is. But as currently he's not committing any crimes, nor has he committed any crime. They're far stretching on any indictments they've brought against him for the January 6th. Or the refusing to push through the power, fair trade of power. But then also, I mean, the closest thing they have is the documents, which is protected by the U.S. Presidential Act. So they can't really get him for anything. They're just trying to throw everything out there, but all they're doing is keeping his name in the media. And God bless him for giving free media coverage to the man himself.
Yep.
Okay, and Earl, since you're here and you haven't frozen yet, I want to ask you the next question.
Yep.
Shiba Inu. Give me your opinion on what's going on with Shiba Inu. Earl?
Oh, did we lose him?
I think he didn't realize I was asking him another question. So, King Earl, can you hear me? Okay, we'll go to you, Mark and Maverick. Shiba Inu is making a move. What do you think is going on here with Shiba Inu?
You know what, man? Looking at the 13% really doesn't blow my mind, but looking at the 24-hour volume, 270% is mind-blowing. At the same time,
I think Shiba Inu is gearing up for Shibarium project.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Earl.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, yep.
Go ahead, Earl.
No, there he goes again.
It's all right. We can do a collaboration. Binance approves Shiba Inu as collateral asset on their platform. At the same time, spike in 5% as soon as the news comes out. And what was I reading here? Shiba Inu takes a step to become a DeFi contender and will add digital IDs to its ecosystem. So Shiba Inu's really turning out to be a good project. Good job on that one, Blaze. I know you hold a lot of those Shiba Inu coins, man. I gotta get some of those, man. I just literally put some money in the dip in XDC.
Oh, don't worry about it. When it gets up real big,
and I need to buy more. I should be doing that right now, but I gotta go to a wedding. I think I'm gonna find a window and buy some more XDC. Yeah, good job on that, man.
Earl, what do you think about Shiba Inu?
I think it's awesome preparation for Shibarium project to be released. I mean, Bone's been pumping, double digits. Shiba Inu is finally pumping up some double digits today, and then Leash is getting fully marketized. The entire Shiba economy or ecosystem is finally being released, so we shall finally see what the project is capable of, and how much utility it actually has once this project is complete. I look forward to seeing us during the next altcoin season. I mean, we're pumping now, but do your own research, know when to pull out, because there is going to be a heck of a pump and then there's going to be a heck of a dump, so just get ready for that. And it's not altcoin season yet, so don't get your hopes high, but take your profit while you can.
And do you own Shiba Inu right now, Earl?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah, dude.
Nash Cowboy, what do you think? I know you're a fan of Shiba Inu. You hold it, right?
Yeah. I've got. I mean, I'm a single dad of 6, so I haven't invested a ton like some of these guys can. But I got like just under 100 million of them. So I should stand to make a pretty good profit in the next bull market on them. But I'll probably do a little trading back and forth along the way to that era. So yeah, I think Earl's right. I think it's preparation for the Shibarium release. And I think only good things are going to come from this point on, at least for quite some time in the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Absolutely. Blaze. They got a lot going on. They got a huge army following them too. Like
they do. They have a huge community. There's no doubt about it.
One thing
one of those guys
me,
that's
man.
in the community is Blaze. Blaze, what do you think about Shiba Inu, buddy?
Okay, so a simple fact, right? Shibarium, Binance News, yeah, that's all great. But when they're in the end of the summer, that's even greater. That's what happens all the time. So all this, I base my gut off of the time of year. I'm sorry, guys. All that news is fun, right? But I'm in a big group that I watch and I analyze all the time. People are starting to shift some of their money back into Shiba, getting ready, hopefully for this big bull run with this Shibarium and the Binance News and several other things that I really don't want to discuss right now because I'm not sure of. So, yeah, Shiba, thumbs up, baby.
Can I just make a point out there? Remember,
Yeah, go
Rich, I
ahead.
was telling you about my theory about I don't think it matters how much coins are in circulation in the crypto market. We've been looking at it similar to the stock market securities and representing that with the knowledge we know of this and taking it to the cryptos. But I don't think it's like that because Shiba Inu holding 589 trillion coins in circulation while it's up 15%. I can't explain that.
It doesn't matter about coin supply because if you shave off a couple zeros, so if we shorten the number of
3 zeros, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to see $60,000 token, or do you want to see a token worth 1 penny? So, I mean, it depends. It's for the people that can't afford the big stuff that are trying to get to the big stuff. The end game is always going to be Bitcoin.
Yeah,
my boy.
ERC20.
Okay, now I'm going to switch topics. I know we can talk about Shiba Inu for hours with this group.
Oh, yeah,
but I want to keep going. So the next topic, I want to go really quickly because we don't have much time left. We got like 10, 13 minutes left. So the next topic is Lionel Messi. And I know none of you guys are really huge soccer fans, but it's a business conversation. Lionel Messi has gone to Miami and completely turned things around. The team went from being a last place team to now they haven't lost a game since Messi joined. They're number one in shirt sales in the MLS. And in the first 25 hours or 24 hours that Messi was an Inter Miami FC MLS player, they sold 2.5 million jerseys. My question to you guys is, are you going to go and try to watch Messi play in Miami? Because I'm making plans. I've been talking to Chris about it all week. He's going to find out what it's going to cost to go to watch Messi play. If I can, I'm going to fly into America, go to Miami, and spend thousands of dollars probably to go watch Messi play. Would any of you guys be interested in watching Messi play? We'll start with you, Mark and Maverick.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I would love to do that.
You'd come with me to go watch him play?
In fact, I can get in a plane and be there within about 5 hours, maybe 6 hours, I'm sure. And I think it would definitely be worth it. Miami, LeBron James, Messi. I can watch a basketball game. I can watch a soccer game. I can go straight to Mexico, have a small weekly vacation, and go right back home. And I am loving the fact I need Ronaldo to come here. In fact, he just signed the deal with Saudi Arabia. So these guys are very evenly matched. I can't even find stats on these guys because they're so
evenly. Messi has done for what Messi has done for the MLS is massive. He's put the MLS, Major League Soccer in America, on the map. And Ronaldo's equally doing the same thing in Saudi Arabia. So want to know what you think. King Earl, would you ever go and watch Messi play? King Earl, can you hear us?
Yes. I think it's a great I don't think I would ever go to a game. I might come have a beer with you, but, soccer just don't, impress me. But,
So you wouldn't want to go watch the greatest player of all time just to go watch him say you did. It doesn't matter to you.
I mean, I'm just not that big into, sports that awful much. I like to watch a little bit of college football every now and then, maybe a little bit of baseball. But past that, I'm more, down to earth and worried about what's going on, financially in the world and politically within the world and scientifically within the world, to be worried about, an alpha male contest or a group contest like that. But, social gatherings are great. It's a great place to spend time. And, if he brings another culture to America and continues to drive up our markets, and people are going to sponsor, him and might bring more sponsorships to Miami. And you never know, Miami Coin might be doing a huge investment in him if he can keep it up.
All right, Nash Cowboy, what do you think? Is this something you'd ever want to go and do?
Well, you know me, man. The only sport I really watch is MMA usually, and I'm missing out on a fight right now, actually. But it's a boxing match. The Logan,
Jake Paul versus Nate
yeah.
Diaz is fighting today.
So I'm missing out on that, but the only reason I would go is if y'all were there and I'd just come to party with y'all,
Well, that's what we got to do, guys. Even if we just go hang out and go watch a game, just for
Now,
just for the
We
what
could
fun.
all have a
you
destination to meet
now,
at. That would be sick.
now what y'all got to be interested in is screw the sports, come to Nashville. Let me show you the time of your life.
Guys, I need to go
Hey,
to
I'm
a
down for
Formula
that.
One
All right, my
race,
turn.
please. I need to see NASCAR Formula One rally. I need to see this.
I got all that here in Daytona, so I'm in the right location.
So,
That's
Blaze,
where
you're
I
in
gotta
Florida,
go.
I'm
so
in
you're the
Daytona,
closest.
so basically
You're the
4
closest to
hours
all
away
of
from
us to
Miami.
Messi right now.
4 hours away.
You
from
gonna go
Miami.
watch Messi play or what?
Bro, I was never a soccer fan until I became your friend, and I learned about the sport, and I watch how much you enjoy watching your superstar son out there. And if I had the time, I have everything else, but if I had the time, absolutely, because it was a great move, right, business-wise, to take him here, because when Tampa brought Tom Brady to the worst team, they won the Super Bowl. Big economy boost. Great move by Miami. Economy booster, already making money for Florida. Yo, Florida strong, baby. That's why I'm here.
Calgary, Alberta,
All right.
Cowtown, baby. That's why I'm here.
Cowtown.
It's all going down in Florida, boys and girls.
That's what they called my city, Cowtown. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I love the city. Amazing economy. But some days you wake up and you could smell the farmers. They're doing the shoveling, and the whole city stinks, guys. It's unbelievable.
He came to Miami because Florida's making all the right moves. They, their basketball team made it to the finals. Their hockey team did. The baseball team's killing it. So let's put soccer on the map. I'm telling
What's
you.
that?
All right, guys. So my next question, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a streamer in America. He's a very big streamer. His name is Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
He's got millions and millions of followers, and he likes to do pranks and different live streaming, and he's making like literally hundreds of millions of dollars with Twitch and Rumble. He wanted to do a live giveaway in New York City yesterday, and he literally shut it down. Union Square was shut down, and he got charged because he was trying to give away 300 PS5s. The police had to fly in with helicopters because thousands of people were mobbing Union Square in New York City. What do you think about this? Do you think an influencer should be able to just give away 300 PS3s, PS5s? Do you think it's a mistake to be doing that because he created so much chaos? What do you think about this? We'll start with you, Mark and Maverick.
I think they're just mad that everybody else is happy, getting something for nothing. He believes people on his platform deserve a gift or two. Maybe I want to give a gift to the people on my platform. I mean, I'm sorry. If they're going to riot and flip cars over and burn buildings, no, obviously not.
Almost what happened.
If I want to...
But that's what happened. Like, it was chaos.
Let's see it. Let's see. I never really seen a video or anything like that.
Yeah, it was all over the news yesterday.
But,
like, here's like a picture of it.
Shit.
You can see the picture. Like, it's pretty bad.
It was
like,
teenagers, Maverick. It was
it
teenagers.
was
Is that
like
riot
a war.
gear?
Yeah, it turned into a war zone.
Oh wow! Yeah, I wouldn't do anything or associate anything to doing that to anybody. Anything that causes harm to somebody. Sorry, I'm just gonna get this plane out of here. Anything that causes harm to somebody is definitely not in the book for anybody that's on this channel, for sure.
King Earl, what do you think?
I say, if you're going to be doing a giveaway such thing as that, I mean, you're going to have to file for the proper permits, number one, especially in a liberal city like that. and
Hey,
that,
Goku.
and
Yes.
maybe hire some security. I mean, you
Yes.
maybe not take it to freaking Times Square where they have, you know, the Macy Day Parade. Number two, take it to, you
Yeah.
know, Roll Town, USA, you know, if you're going to be doing it. But, you know, it just, it's a show of faith, but with the whole TikTok thing going on, it just doesn't help us streamers or us social media stars look any better when we're causing chaos and riots. I mean, you know, maybe he should be, you know, sued for inciting riots on August the 2nd, and potentially, you know, he put his presidential ballot in, you know, and he could face criminal charges too for trying to stop a presidential election. You know,
That's possible. That's very possible. With Kamala Harris
Nash Cowboy, what do you
and
think?
Mike, all these guys, who knows what can happen? Anybody can get charged. I can get charged for my social score in China right now, just crossing the street because of Trudeau's policies with their trade deals. Who knows what's happening in social media world?
I don't think I don't know what his what you said his charges were, but I don't think he expected that to happen.
When you show up in New York with 300 PS5s, they're $1,000 a piece. That's 300 grand in merch.
So what?
You have to assume that it's going to get chaotic.
No,
right?
not like riots though. I don't think he intentionally did anything.
I think we live in a world where as long as you have a large group of people in one place, crazy things can happen, right?
I mean,
thousands of people showed up. Thousands of people showed up.
If I'm going to feed the homeless, it's not my fault if the homeless or somebody gets robbed.
That's different, though. That's different. That's food.
It's still the same concept. If I'm going to give something to somebody, it's not my fault if some other idiot decides to start trouble. So our freedoms will be our freedom.
So do you think he should have been arrested?
I did not think he should have been arrested. Not at all.
Okay.
All
right.
We have freedom of speech in this country. We have freedom of,
freedom of press,
freedom of everything. Freedom of press, freedom to broadcast. We have freedom to give anything to anyone if we want, as long as it's a legal product.
How many people own all the companies that broadcast? Like 5?
My turn, boys.
Blaze,
my theory.
What do you think
you're
about
giving away $350,000 items, and you're talking to teenagers, kids. That's what was there. They weren't adults, Green Day fans, and all this stuff going on. There were children out there. Okay, 350 kids show up, and that's it. There's still a mess.
If we want that control, we'll get hit too.
Listen, you cannot be bigger than the law, okay? We all know that, okay? Number one, you cannot be bigger than the law. Number two, if you're going to be a social media star, you need to be responsible like we are. We tell everybody to do their studying and everything, right? So therefore, he did not look. He did not call the local authorities and let them know there was an event going to be happening worth over $300,000. So therefore, yes, he makes some money. He did it for content, which he's going to cake up on. I think every dollar that he makes off this content from this issue to go to the city of New York to clean up that mess.
Okay, guys, last question before we say goodbye to everyone. We only got 2 minutes left. I want everyone to be really quick here. Prime Minister Trudeau, this is his wife, now his ex-wife. What do you guys think about the fact that Prime Minister Trudeau in Canada is getting divorced? What do you think, Mark and Maverick?
I want to make this short and sweet. I don't think we have much time here, but I just want to say she left him not because of what he did, but because what he's going to do.
Okay, so she knows something and she's getting out of the way.
Not necessarily. I can't point my finger and say exactly those words. And I'm not saying anything exactly 100% sure. I'm just stating what I believe is she left him because of something, not because of what he was doing, but because of what he's going to do.
She's just not satisfied. Similar to the citizens of Canada. We are not satisfied. And that happening to him should be a sign that.
Well, I mean, if she's allowed to divorce him, why can't all of us Canadians divorce him? King
You
Earl,
can.
what do you think about this?
Good point.
I think she saw the writing on the wall. She couldn't stack up to compete, in an arm wrestling competition with Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris, and she just had to step down and back away. And she might have had a little bit of foresight that her husband might be a little, and might be having nefarious affairs, in other places.
With
But
what's that video? Jasmine.
things might be hidden, from the light, and
My bad.
let's go Canada.
Let's go Canada.
Okay, Nash Cowboy, what do you think? Trudeau getting divorced, separated from his wife after many, many years and kids together. What do you think about this? You have an
I
opinion?
hate it when anybody has to go through divorce, but that bastard, you know. Oh well.
I mean, isn't he a robot? Isn't that used to like having a sex doll or something?
Come on, it's a
You know?
business move.
You know, it happens to
Blaze,
everyone, but the way
Blaze,
it
what do
happened
you
to
think?
him.
What do you think,
I
Blaze?
think
Let's hear what Blaze has to say before we say goodbye, guys. It's been over an hour. Blaze, what do you
Okay,
think?
so 10 million to 400 million. She gets a cut. She gets out, cleans her names up, tells everybody in Canada, I got nothing to do with this. She's afraid for her life, and she wants to make a few bucks, and go live off that for a while. She's done. Kudos to her. She's the first Canadian that stepped up to him.
My answer to this is it seems very familiar to what happened with Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady goes and gets divorced right before the FTX scandal.
Yep.
and Bill
They
Gates.
don't want to be a part of it, bro.
Maybe she knows that some dirtiness is coming out and she's getting out of the way, like Mark and Maverick said, before the bomb drops.
And Bill Gates.
Just
And Bill and Melinda Gates
Guys,
did the same thing.
She's
And the
telling
World
yes,
Economic
Bill and
Forum.
Melinda Gates,
She's
too.
telling her Canadian fellows that I'm the first one to make a stand against him and step up to him. Now, all you guys follow suit.
That's right. I love it. Guys, thank you for joining us. The Bull and Bear Show, episode number 11. My co-host, Nash Cowboy, Blaze, Mark and Maverick, King Earl. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Always a pleasure, guys. Great show, and we'll see you guys next week.
Stay tuned, guys. I'll be going live right now on my channel. Stay tuned.
Awesome. I'll see you there, bro.
All right.
Okay,
Salute, guys.
Cheers.
Much love.